Welcome everybody to the new 3D printer build. I have been wanting to build this printer for a very long time. If it looks completely new to you, let me introduce it to you. This is called the Annex K3, and what makes this printer very unique is that instead of using like the Voron, what they call a Core XY gantry, where there's belts and a loop oriented in a way where it all drags the tool head together using two motors. What this does is it actually is a very well-known system called a Cartesian system, where one motor will pull a belt uh, on the x-axis, another motor will pull the belt on the y-axis, making it Cartesian. Now, the best part about this is that it pretty much standard comes with an all-wheel drive system. It has two motors per axis, so it's going to be super fast. The other thing, as you can see, is that it has, a moving cross gantry. It's, yeah, makes that cross sign there. And it's super duper wicked fast. You can see tons of videos on it. I decided to go with this printer because I wanted a desktop printer that had 180 mil build space. Sadly, my Voron VO like V2 or V0.2, it's just too small of a build space, and I wanted something a little bit more heavy duty. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on the internet of this printer, but I haven't seen anybody do a build log with full CNC parts. Now, there is always a bit of a risk buying CNC parts from AliExpress, and I decided to go with Funzor. I decided to buy all the CNC parts that they had available and pretty much just throw the bag at this whole build and see what I can get out of it. So yeah, as you can see here, I've got CNC motor towers. I've got those CNC motor brackets too, if you can kind of get a glimpse on that. Maybe I can show you on the other side. Yeah, there we go. The CNC motor towers right there. And then, of course, on the actual cross gantry, the actual gantry parts are all CNC'd and black anodized, which I really appreciate, considering it's going to match the whole theme of this build. And we've got a lot of other parts as well. I've got all of the Z components. I've just started recently building all of this. And I've got the Z components, the electronics, and a whole host of other upgrades I am going to do to this printer. So if you too are also wanting to get the CNC kit for this guy, there's a few things that you should probably know before embarking on this. Now, the reason why I went with CNC is because I personally don't like having plastic on my printers. I know that kind of goes against the whole rep wrap thing, but I look at these printers more as machines and hobby projects. So I really want to get the durability and use out of them. I don't want to use it and then like a year later have a cracked part in some obscure corner and not be able to figure out why. Print quality shot down. But anyways, I wanted to use CNC parts. Now, CNC parts, a lot of people avoid them for the simple fact that they require so much more care in the installation, and especially in the steps that I'm in right now. So when you build the frame, you need to build this on a granite surface or like a flat tile or even an enormous large glass surface will help the build process with this a lot better. I also highly recommend that you invest in an engineering square. I've got this one from Amazon. It's a Kynex and it is rated at DIN 875-00. You probably don't need a -00. You could probably get away with a -0, but that really helped. I got the large version, yeah, 7.7 times 25, I think. That is the dimensions for that. And then I've got also a smaller one here, which is really, really helpful for some of the smaller, tighter corners. And what those engineering squares do is they really help you see which bar is out of alignment. I have two specifically, which is really helpful when building the entire thing. You can hold one in one corner and hold the larger one on the outside corner. And the outside, the large engineering square is really helpful in seeing whether this corner and this beam are fully in alignment with one another. You'll see there won't be enough light to pass through. And I've actually got a video on that in my other videos that I will splice into this and show you guys how important that is. You can see there's a good bit more light coming through, but not that much. If we consistently bring it, we can start to see there's a whole crap ton more light coming out, showing that this edge, instead of being level, is actually tilted upwards like that, which is allowing more light to come in. And what makes this super powerful for this is that it shows us that this is out of whack. So one thing to notice is that as you're tightening everything, you are pulling the frame in that direction. So as you know, we've got the blind joints right here, and you guys can't see it right now, but there are blind joints right here in every corner that pull it together. And something to notice is that there are metal components like this that are already a perfect 90 degree. So these kind of are the authority in the build process, which can get kind of tricky. What do you do? So one thing that I noticed, this might be a little helpful hint for anybody that's doing this. I built the frame the way that the manual said, and then I took all of these parts, put on the motors and everything. I had to loosen up these bolts here, loosen up the frame bolts, and then use these two bolts here in every corner as my squaring guide, and then double checking it with the engineering square, and then tightening everything else around this corner joint right here. That's something I found in my experience to really help with getting everything square, and then constantly checking the rails and making sure that they aren't they're freely able to move and they aren't racking anywhere. That was a lot. That took me about a day. That's also something I wanted to bring up, was that using CNC parts is really nice because it builds a robust system and a really precise system, but it will require almost equal amount of time just to make sure that the printer doesn't bind on you or doesn't do anything weird or dumb. So that's something to notice, but I am just now getting started on this build. I'm really liking it. I've got a lot of upgrades planned for it, and I want to talk to you guys about that now. So as you can see here, I've got high wind rails on everything. So that's got high wind rails on all four cross beams, and then a ton of high wind rails on the actual x-axis as well. Something else that I've got that I thought was a really cool addition would be ceramic bearings. This is 100% a luxury item. I found that this actually really helps with the lifespan of the bearings. You only have to replace these roughly, I think every 4 years is what they recommend just on normal print operations. And one thing that I noticed is that it makes the printer definitely quieter in the Z motion, which I thought was kind of like a nice bonus. So there's that. Some other things I wanted to do is I'm going to be modding this to have a side pack. I'm going to be adding one of those long rectangular wave share screens. Let me see if I can go get that. Here it is. Here's that wave share screen. So here's that long rectangular clipper screen that I'm going to be using. This thing is pretty sweet and pretty great. And essentially what's going to happen is that this is going to be just on the side of the printer, just like that. And it's going to have a nice little side pack, and it's going to look really nice. I'm also trying my best to create a custom tool head where I can use a Goliath and a CPAP. Considering how fast this printer is, it's going to need even faster cooling. And I think that's going to be a really cool challenge. I also really want to see if I can water cool these motors. These are 2804 long boy stepper superpower LDO motors, and these are high temp, so that's really nice. You don't really need them to be water cooled, but we're already here, so we might as well just throw the bees knees at this thing and see what happens. And we're going to try to make this 48 volts along with a handful of other upgrades. So if you guys don't mind, subscribe. Come join me on this wonderful journey, and give me some top tips in the comments below. Let me know what you all think, and I am excited to embark upon this journey. I am going to be cleaning up in the next video. Hopefully I'll have the Z-axis, the bed. Oh, also I've got an upgraded bed that I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. But yeah, I've got the Z-axis I want to do. I want to hopefully get the motors for the Z, the actual rails and everything installed. And then after that, we're going to try our best to, oh, we got to also do the belts. We got to try our best to see how far we can get along. Something I really wanted to point out was where I got the kit from. I got my kit from Fabrico, and they came with this really nice, well-organized carrying box that pretty much describes all of the items that you'll be having in this box, plus another box full of other bits and bobs and screws. In the other box, you've got all metal, blacked out bearing gears. You've got idlers and pulleys, all well labeled and well put together. So if you are going to go with this kit, I highly recommend the Fabrico one. The other thing to notice is that all of the extrusions are really well put together and well cut. The ends of the extrusions are all deburred, and they are also anodized even the edges, in all black. I even measured every single one of the extrusions, and they are all straight, which is really, really important. Another thing I wanted to show you guys was which AliExpress parts I bought, and the links for all of them if you want to do this as well. But I highly recommend that you wait and watch the entire series before fully committing to buying these items, because you know, I will be the sacrificial person here and buy the items and see what I get for them, and you don't have to. So we will see. Yeah, oh, also one thing that I forgot in terms of mods is I want to add a few end stops or a few something like that in the corners so that I can tell where the printer will hit and make my life easier there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your guys' patience, and thank you guys so much for watching all my videos, and I will see you later.